So U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, yo-yo, she was in Poland. She was meeting with a group of Ukrainian refugees. She said that the conversation we had this afternoon is going to help inform me, the President of the United States, and the American people about what you've experienced. She thanked the group for your willingness, your courage, and your time. We're here to support you, and you are not alone. We around the world are watching. The United Nations is now estimating more than 2 million refugees have left Ukraine in the last 2 weeks. She also she had a busy day today, Kamala.
Right.
She met with the Polish president in the wake of the disconnect between whether Poland was going to give MiGs, which are the Russian fighters, to Ukraine, and the United States vetoed it because apparently Poland decided to do that before getting agreement with the United States, because Poland thought they were getting more advanced planes from the United States, which was one problem, which was how is the United States going to replace the planes that Poland's giving Ukraine? The other problem is that how are you going to get the plane from Poland to Ukraine without getting...
You gave your theory.
I gave my theory, and really, if the Polish president didn't say anything, and they just kept it quiet, and they just disassembled the plane, drove it across the border, which maybe they're doing right now, then nobody would know where these planes came from.
Right.
All of a sudden, the planes are in the sky. Nobody knows where they came from. But now the Polish president opens his mouth.
And they wouldn't have seen it coming.
They wouldn't have seen it coming. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's what I would have done. I have no idea. I haven't read anything about that.
Yeah.
But that's how I would have handled it. But nevertheless, right now, Ukraine does not have any more planes. They're requesting air cover. They want NATO to close the skies over Ukraine. We talk about that every day. NATO does not want to encourage Russia into a world war. You know, the only issue is that nobody's scared in NATO that Russia is going to trample over all of Europe. They don't have the army to do it.
Right.
It's the nuclear weapons everyone's scared about.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants to get into a situation where Putin gets put into a corner, and now all of a sudden...
That's definitely nothing that I want to see. Anybody wants to see.
Right. You know, Zelensky said Putin's bluffing. Why would he shoot off a nuclear weapon? Because then he would basically be annihilating all of Russia. But a rational person, yes. But I don't know how rational we are anymore here.
I feel like this whole situation is very irrational. So
the whole thing with nuclear weapons. I just saw Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
He's about to test in North Korea, another irrational person. He's about to test an intercontinental ballistic missile, and he's disguising it as a missile for space. Okay, so what happens when North Korea has an intercontinental ballistic missile? That missile could hit the United States of America.
Yeah.
And now you have a really unhinged leader over there. What do you do about that?
Yeah.
But that's for another day. We have Russia invading Ukraine at the moment. Meanwhile, the UN ambassador, the United States ambassador to the United Nations, she said in the United Nations today, it's now the U.S. position that Russia is committing war crimes in Ukraine. There's been images that came out recently of Russia bombing a hospital in Mariupol.
Whoa.
Where and it was a children's maternity ward.
What?
The reports are that at least 3 children in the hospital have died.
Wow.
Several more injured. They knocked an entire building out. Whether or not it was an intentional missile launch on a hospital or whether it was a missile that went astray, nobody knows. The fact is they're shooting missiles towards residential areas, which is in of itself a war crime. The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations is calling it out. And Kamala Harris, late this afternoon, with the president of Poland, said that she believes that it should be investigated as a war crime, although the vice president hasn't come out and said war crime.
Right.
What that's going to do to stop anybody at this moment, nothing. But maybe in the future, as everything gets documented, and as eventually, at some point, if there becomes a peace, perhaps all of this documentation of war crimes may come back and haunt Russia, and especially Vladimir Putin, and the people in his inner circle. It was a maternity hospital, correct?
Look
Yeah.
at can you imagine like going to the hospital to
Right.
have a child and
Yeah.
a missile hits? Like
Yeah.
what?
The United Kingdom has brought out some secret documentation from, I guess, their spy agency that Russia is now getting ready to use chemical weapons
Oh gosh.
in the Ukraine, that they have shipped chemical weapons to the border between Russia and Ukraine. If this is in fact true, and if Putin decides to use chemical weapons, which is illegal to use, it's been illegal since the end of World War I, and he starts bringing in chemical weapons into the war, then the UK foreign minister said that would change the dynamic, and perhaps NATO at that point would have to get involved, because the use of chemical weapons would be a red line, that perhaps NATO would not allow Russia to cross. President Biden has not come out, the United States has not come out and said that is a red line. They haven't really come out and said anything about the chemical weapons. It was something that came out of the UK right now. What's interesting is when the UK came out and said that today, Russia is sending out false information that their Russian soldiers came across 2 labs in Ukraine that are being funded by the United States. They claim they have papers from those labs, and that United States was secretly funding chemical weapon research in
gosh.
Ukraine. So the
So
thing,
they're just throwing out news.
well, the
just
thing is that Russia, I believe this, and if you believe that the United States would not, why would the United States be funding chemical weapons
Right.
research into Ukraine when they're not even part of our alliance?
Right.
So you got to believe that Russia uses all of these things as a pretext to either continue to fight or to say, hey, now we can use perhaps chemical weapons too, which, now that I'm thinking about it, is probably why the UK foreign minister came out with this statement later in the afternoon today, saying, we believe that Russia's going to use chemical weapons. Across Russia, that is on the daily news. So most Russians believe the United States was funding chemical weapons research in Ukraine. It's just the disinformation, that goes around is you don't know ultimately,
Yeah.
what's true and what's not true. What else is happening? Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, from the United States point of view, he said that Russia is already strategically defeated. I believe that. I said that yesterday. Blinken was talking to a press conference with the UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss. Liz Truss was the woman who said that Russia was moving chemical weapons towards the border. They both pledged to keep up security and humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, said, I'm absolutely convinced that Putin will fail. Russia will suffer strategic defeat, no matter what short-term tactical gains it may make in Ukraine. We've already seen that Russia has failed in its chief objective. It's not able to hold Ukraine. It's not going to be able to hold Ukraine in the long term. And you know what? This is something I talked about all week. What's Russia going to do once they overtake all these cities?
Right.
Okay, they can't police 44 million people,
Right.
who don't want them
Who don't
here.
want them there.
So this is what Anthony Blinken's saying.
That's what I said. It's literally gonna be a constant war. You're gonna have war in that country.
And the president of Poland came out today with Kamala Harris and said that he believed that even if peace were declared tomorrow, that sanctions should continue against Russia for the next 15 to 20 years.
Whoa.
So,
What do you feel about that?
well, I don't know what I feel about that. I want to see the war end first, and then let's see what's going on. There's a very well-known oligarch from Russia, Roman Abramovich. He's very close to Putin. I don't know, what is he worth, 20 billion, 40 billion, 100 billion dollars, whatever the man's worth. He bought Chelsea soccer team. He has now been sanctioned in the UK, and the Chelsea soccer team, which is one of the most famous sports teams in the world,
can't play.
They can play, but they can't sell any future tickets. They can't sell any merchandise. He can't. Abramovich was trying to sell the team before he got sanctioned. So now nobody.
Can't even.
Yeah. So who knows what's going to happen with this team that was worth $2.5 billion?
Wow.
Burger King is pulled out of Russia. We talked about yesterday cancel culture. Well, it's continuing. Zara pulled out of Russia. Sony, Warner Brothers. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Levi's, can't even get by a pair of Levi's now in Russia.
I see Zara, L'Oreal, Mothercare, Heineken, Pepsi, IKEA, H&M, ASOS, Boohoo, which I buy a lot of clothes from, Nike, Burberry, Universal Music Group, that's UMG, Spotify, Netflix, Sony, Warner Brothers, Disney, FIFA, UEFA, Formula One, the International Tennis Federation, Winter Paralympics, World Athletics Series, and the International Chess Federation, which is a lot in a day. Like, it's already doubled, tripled almost.
Goldman Sachs, the largest investment bank in the United States, private investment bank in the United States,
keep on happening,
has pulled out of Russia. JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank in the United States, is unwinding its Russian business. So it just goes on and on and on and on.
And I like this. This is us coming together. And I don't know if I can say us, but at least the world coming together to...
See, Putin
wasn't expecting this. And I like that.
Putin was not banking on cancel culture.
I like that. This is the first time I actually like cancel culture.
And it's all from social media.
Yeah.
And they're calling this war the first TikTok war.
Yeah.
Because most people are getting real-time footage from TikTok.
Yeah.
So, real people with real phones showing exactly what's going on. A Ukrainian by the name of Valeria Shashenok. She is in war-torn Chernihiv, Ukraine. And she's taking shelter in an underground bunker with her mother, father, and dog, Tori, in this northern Ukrainian city. Many of her close friends have fled. But instead of wallowing in the destruction, I showed you her video.
Yeah, you showed me that. And I saw it before, too. Yeah,
Shashenok has turned the war into art. In this video that made her famous, Shashenok dances to Shayla Luna with the caption, "My typical day in a bomb shelter." Do we have the video to watch? Okay. She uses a heat gun with a hairdryer as her dog hides under a blanket. Her mother cooks over a pot on the floor. In another video, captioned, the caption says, "Today Putin destroyed one of the old buildings in my city. It was a cinema that survived World War II. Windows flew out from the force of impact in neighboring houses." And this is happening all over TikTok,
look at that.
Yeah, all over Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's a social media war. And the war is being done by individuals, and cancel culture is coming into play.
Yeah.
And Putin never thought this would happen in a million years. Never was taken into account. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives voted last night to pass their annual budget. Included is $13.6 billion in aid for Ukraine. What was not included is President Biden's COVID relief package. They couldn't agree on how much to spend on COVID relief. So his testing and purchases of viral pills, we don't know how much has already been purchased through prior budget resolutions, but there is going to be no additional free pills and testing in the future. How much has already been purchased and how long that's going to last, we don't know. Also included in the budget is VAWA reauthorization. This year, it was not very politically fraught. If you remember in years past, we didn't know whether VAWA would pass or not. It has passed. It will continue. And there was no real political gamesmanship on VAWA this year. Kind of everybody kind of just agreed on continuing it. So that was good.
That'd be wild if they discontinued
VAWA. It was a couple years ago. I don't remember which year.
Yeah.
We said, "Oh my God, we don't know if it was going to continue or not." And I don't know what we're entering to a world of cryptocurrency. I was talking to you about that the other day too, off the air. Mm-hmm. Well, President Biden has signed an executive order to explore establishing a U.S. digital dollar akin to a Bitcoin cryptocurrency, but it'll be pinned to the dollar. So there may be a U.S. dollar crypto. In January, the Fed released a long-awaited report on central bank digital currencies, which it said was intended to generate debate. I mean, the reality is that the crypto market is completely, at this point, unregulated. And at some point, the U.S. government is going to regulate all of this because the U.S. government always puts their hand in everything.
Right.
So I am telling you, it will also. So the wild, wild west days of Bitcoin, this is the first step in probably, not saying Bitcoin's not going to exist, and not saying it's not going to be useful, just saying the wild, wild west days of the U.S. government doesn't know what the heck's going on with Bitcoin are now officially over. They are starting to look at all of it. And Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said in a statement that this supports an approach that will support responsible innovation that could result in substantial benefits for the nation, consumers, and businesses. She said it would also address risks related to illicit finance, protecting consumers and investors, preventing threats to the financial system and broader economy. Senior Biden administration officials said this is the first time the federal government has taken a holistic approach to assessing the possibility of a centralized digital currency, to connecting both government, bank institutions, and departments and agencies focused on security considerations to mitigate risk. All of that mumbo jumbo is U.S. government sticking their hands in this now.
Yes.
That's basically what it is. And
great way to break it down.
That's basically it. All right. Before it was the Wild West, the U.S. was under the Trump administration. They didn't touch Bitcoin. It was just crazy. Now, today, for the first time, they're going to start the regulatory process of regulating it.
Okay.
Potential new COVID variant, by the way, combines Delta and Omicron. They're calling it Deltacron. The Deltacron is on its way, yo-yo. We thought because the Ukraine-Russia war came that COVID was over.
going chill out.
That COVID would chill out. It was taking a break. I thought COVID was taking a break until the war in Ukraine was over.
That's just because we don't hear as much about it.
Yeah, exactly, because they're not talking about it.
Listen, out of sight, out of mind.
That's right. So I thought COVID's like, all right, the world's got enough problems. We'll just take a break.
Right.
But apparently that's not the case. Deltacron is on its way. The World Health Organization said yesterday that the new combination Deltacron has been detected in none other than France.
Oh, gosh.
It's always France. We're in UK. It's also been found in the United States.
I was about to say, I thought I heard about this the beginning of the year that, it was that they were trying to combine Delta and Omicron.
The scientists are saying no one needs to worry about this variant yet until the Russia-Ukraine war is over. Then we will start worrying about it.
Because Corona definitely doesn't want to fight for the attention.
No, they're like, we're not going to win. You're like, it's smart, this virus. Yeah. And travel customs have changed a lot. Did you notice that in this pandemic? According to Warren Jeffrian, the Dean of International Education at Endicott College, he says societal norms and customs around greetings have been turned on their head. Mahmoud Khan, a Virginia Tech hospitality and tourism professor, says the pandemic has impacted shaking hands, hugging, kissing. I don't like to shake hands as much anymore. I give fist bumps, I give elbow bumps.
That's true.
But I don't really shake hands.
I know a lot of people
Do you feel uncomfortable shaking hands?
I think about it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think twice.
Before, I was always a friendly guy. Hey.
I definitely think, and
But
then
I
I'm
don't-
like, oh.
I don't stick my hand out to shake people's hands anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I just, and not that I think I'm going to get sick now, but it's just I've gotten used to it. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, this virus made me less friendly.
Yeah.
Really, I don't
Yeah.
hug people anymore.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah. Not that I was going around hugging people before. I'm something.
You wasn't doing this to strangers on the street?
It's not like I'm Andrew Cuomo or anything, but I was a friendly person.
Yeah.
Emily Monaco, the host of Navigating the French podcast, says one of the casualties of the pandemic is la bise, the customary cheek kisses. You know, like the French kiss when they go mwah mwah and they go on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing that anymore.
I mean, you could do that air kiss.
Yeah, they're not doing that anymore. But that's fake, the air kiss. And Franco Moso, who lives in San Jose, Costa Rica, says things have changed in Central America too. He says in Costa Rica, we usually meet and greet with a hug or a kiss on the cheek. Nowadays, you can only do this in your close bubbles, and nobody will even try it with a stranger. And even if they do, it's completely okay to say no. And when people say no, no one gets insulted that you don't want to shake their hand anymore.
I wonder how that is in Ethiopia, because that is our way of greeting somebody. You kiss them on the cheek, and the longer you do it, the more you go side to side to side. It's like it's a term of endearment. It's like, I love you so much. I missed you. So I could see my culture taking it. Some type of way if an older lady comes in to kiss you and you're like, oh no,
Well,
COVID, baby, COVID.
It depends on how ingrained they were to the fear of COVID in.
Right, and I don't think they really
they were not ingrained.
I don't
to fear
think
it.
so.
Not like we were here in the United States.
Exactly.
Right.
So. I want to ask some of my family members. I'm going to ask some of them and come back. Yeah, because I really actually want to know that, because I didn't know that this was happening. Because that's deep. Like, that's your culture. You know that, for them to go and do that, and for people to not do that as much now because of COVID. I can't see that happening in Ethiopia, but I'm about to ask. I'm going to find out for y'all.
I'm missing a card here.
What are you looking for?
I'm missing a card. Let's see. Well, hopefully it's here somewhere. Let's see. La. Here it is. I had it backwards.
All right.
Now I can continue, Yo-Yo.
Go ahead.
All right, so ready to do some wacky news?
Oh, that's what you was looking for.
Yeah, I was looking for the wacky news.
Yes,
I'm like, I don't have any wacky news.
Let's get wacky.
I was completely wacky over here.
I thought you were looking.
No, all the cards were shuffled up.
Oh, I thought you were looking for like the last.
Now I found them. I'm like, for a second, I'm like, maybe there's no wacky today.
But that was pretty wacky.
Yes,
that's
well,
pretty wacky right there.
Because as I'm doing it, usually I'll show you what happened. Okay. Usually I go boom because I get angry thinking about the news and I go boom.
But you just slap that.
And I slap down these cards because I get angry, so they stay in order.
Gotcha.
But today I was enjoying, even though I was talking about a war, which is not pleasant, I was enjoying my conversation with you. So it was all getting messed up over here. I didn't know. I got completely confused where all the cards were. So now we're okay now.
Yes, we good.
Yeah, we're good now. So in Ukraine, you talked about this. A woman took down a drone with a can of tomatoes. Yes. This was a very brave woman. Her name is Lyubov Sebluska. She's an advisor to the Ukrainian government. She was sitting on her balcony in Kiev, and she heard a little sound, a zzz, going by. She thought maybe it was like a dying bird, but it turned out to be a Russian drone.
Wow.
It was flying right in front of her balcony where her and her husband was sitting out on the balcony. She thought maybe it had a gun to it and it was going to kill her.
Yeah.
So she ran inside into her refrigerator and found the first thing. The reports on the news was it was a can of pickles, but it was really a can of tomatoes.
Wow.
She took the can of tomatoes, she threw it at the drone, knocked the drone in half.
First try?
On the first try, the drone fell to the ground, and she took out a Russian drone with a can of tomatoes.
That's actually brilliant.
Yes.
I love that.
She said she was afraid. She thought it was going to start firing at me. But what a pity for those tomatoes. Those were my favorite. So she's upset that she didn't,
I would be too.
That, maybe.
Is that her?
That's her. Yeah. Now the jar came crashing down. Her and her husband then went and trampled the wreckage, disposing.
I'd have been jumping.
You know,
Yeah.
she did, well, you don't know if it's like the Terminator and then comes back. And then number two,
Make sure the camera is
make sure the cameras doesn't work. She dismembered it and put it in like 5 different places because she didn't want any Russians to come by and try to pick it up and use it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So she dismembered it and put it in all different places.
Wow.
She says, I'm not going anywhere from Kiev. I decided so instantly. This is my home. This is my land. I will stand, nor fight, and fight some more. I'll do all that is necessary. That's why Russia hasn't taken over any cities. Almost all the Ukrainians, they're staying put. I mean, 2 million women and children left, but for the most part,
that's actually
part, they're all staying and fighting.
Yeah.
And I don't think Putin was
expecting that.
And if the world, Jonathan, doesn't have enough problems with Chromatron, what's the new variant? What did we say?
Deltacron.
Deltacron. We don't have enough problems with Deltacron. Russia invaded Ukraine. Putin's threatening nuclear war. Kim Jong-un is building an intercontinental ballistic missile. Gas is $6 and going up. If the world doesn't have enough problems, Yo-Yo.
What's the last one?
We're now worried that an evil demon has been unlocked from a rock he was kept in jail there for 1,000 years. There is a stone in Japan called the Killing Stone, and legend has it that the Killing Stone, it was this very famous stone in Japan, legend has it that this stone kept a malevolent spirit imprisoned for over 1,000 years. But just recently, the rock split in half. Now, people are terrified that the demon has escaped. Let me tell you about this demon.
Okay.
Japanese legend has it that anyone who comes into contact with this rock is going to die. According to mythology, the volcanic rock, officially called Seshu Seki, is home to Tamamo no Me, a.k.a. the nine-tailed fox. The nine-tailed fox has been...
That's pretty.
He ain't pretty. He's a demon, Yo-Yo.
Oh, no.
All right?
I don't like it.
You come into contact with that nine-tailed fox, you're a dead man. A dead man, okay? You can't touch the nine-tailed fox. He's a demon. He was locked in this rock. And then sometime recently, someone noticed the rock split in half.
Oh.
After 1,000 years that this demon was locked in there.
That's deep.
That is deep. This rock is located...
Who took this picture? Are they still alive?
This is the rock.
Who took the picture? They said if anybody...
I don't know. But it's located in the mountainous northern region of Tochigi near Tokyo. Now everybody is in fear. Some speculate that the evil spirit may have been resurrected to wreak havoc once again. Others have commented saying, here I thought 2022 couldn't get worse. Now a furious Japanese spirit is freed from its killing stone. It's a fox with 9 tails. And he's on the run.
Imagine if this happened in January of 2020. Then I would be freaked out. When coronavirus started, it's like, it is the demon, y'all. It's the demon.
I don't know. Now, another person joked that my guess is the demon is going to look around to 2022 and want to come back. And want to come back another millennium. He's going back into his rock.
Right. It's like, it's already a lot going on there. They don't need my help. Damn.
Now, local reports suggest the rock actually started cracking a couple of years ago. It's thought rainwater may have got inside, causing the damage. Yeah, that's what the scientists say. What I say is that the fox is on the loose.
Oh, no.
We don't have enough problems now. We got to deal with the Japanese demon.
I don't want that. No.
Oh, my God.
And I thought it looked cute.
No, it's not cute. And if you wanted to go to the smallest movie theater in the world, head no further than Ontario, Canada. The 13-seat UPI.com just got crowned by the Guinness Book of World Records as the smallest movie theater in the world, seating 13 people. Lee Coney, the theater's owner and operator, said, I thought a 13-seat theater would be more profitable. No, he didn't say that.
I was about to say, what?
Who in the world would open up a 13-seat movie theater and think they're going to make any money?
How big is the screen?
I don't know. He said the site formerly was a gallery. I was just like, I'm like, what kind of businessman is this?
Right.
He said the site formerly was a gallery and gift shop called Meet Your Maker, and the micro cinema began as a pull-down screen and some folding chairs to show some local filmmakers' work. We started working with local filmmakers doing little competitions around town, and we thought, well, how great would it be if we built a screening room permanently? So Cody said the theater's focus is hosting small parties because of the COVID pandemic. Now I understand.
I actually love that.
Now I actually understand.
I would rent that out for my friends.
Yeah, I understand now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking like they're showing like, I don't know.
Like Batman.
Batman, right, the Batman. Sorry, sold out.
I mean, for like celebrities, that would be pretty awesome.
Or maybe it's like so far up north in Canada, like the entire town is 30 people.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
but now I understand. The theater was officially awarded the Guinness World Record for smallest purpose-built cinema when the facility was officially measured at 175 square feet.
Pretty awesome.
That's smaller than our studio, Yo-Yo.
Oh, wow. I mean...
And finally, we're going to go to Denver. I don't know if this is wacky or just macabre.
All right.
Because it's 2022. It's Macabre Thursday. Someone stole a box of disembodied human heads. Intended for medical research, but now these heads are gone missing. Denver police are investigating after they received a report on March 3rd about a theft from a freight company truck. The thieves must have gotten the shock of their lives when they stole the truck thinking there was some items in there they could sell, and they open it up and there's this dead head.
Oh my God.
That was being used for medical research.
Yo, I would flip out.
I
Could
would
you
be
imagine?
I would be like that Japanese demon.
Right.
That
It
Japanese
came for
demon
me.
came for me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, police say an unknown suspect or suspects stole the truck with the boxes full of human heads. It happened about a week ago. They're still looking for the head robbers. The head robber.
Oh, I know they was mad.
You know, like when the police get them, they're like, all right, who's the head robber here? Are you talking about who's in charge?
Right.
Took the heads?
Who took the heads? Ooh.
It's unclear if the thief knew the box had human heads, but cops say it's a label that says human heads.
That is wild.
Case is bizarre. So far, no arrests. If anybody comes across
a
truck full of human heads, the Denver police are asking you to call them and on their tip hotline, 720-913-2000. Let them know where you spotted these human heads.
Why would they still have the truck? I would have just like left the truck and been like, all right, let's go try something else. Like what?
They still got the truck, driving around with the heads. They stole the box. They left the truck and stole the heads.
They stole the box from
maybe,
the truck.
Maybe it was people who I think it has something to do with that Japanese demon person. I think that it's a coincidence. All right. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.